Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, grasshoppers. Where is our arena? There it is. I'm glad people are playing. I had to step out for a moment to get the stream started. Awesome. It's going to the right place, obviously. Wait, checking the chat. Not yet, huh? The chat kickbot is not working just yet. Not working just yet. Whoops. We need a C4. How about that? We'll give him a shot at doing well. No, against the D6 lines, we do not play this way. We play a very solid game. And Nefedov knows what I like to play. We'll see if he knows exactly what I like to play. Seems he does. Interesting, 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 interesting. Queen to D2 was probably better. But maybe not. So he's gotten 2 pawns. And he may have trapped his own queen by accident. Ouch. 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 That's unfortunate. As I've mentioned, we have to analyze our games. So in this particular instance, and it is worth looking at, it's so strange how this is not copying the right way. But that's all right. I will worry about it later. So in this particular game, learn from our mistakes. No mistakes found for white, but it doesn't mean that we didn't make mistakes. Just have to X that out, check the opening book, and we will go into this particular line here. How are we doing on C4s? 593. So today we're hoping to get 7 Englishes in to be Mr. 600. And I have played b3 a number of times before. 11 times before. I have an even record with b3, as only 4 people have taken on e4. 1 did get away. So of the people that have played knight takes e4, and after knight takes e4, bishop a1, queen a1, I lost once when someone played f6. That's very interesting to me. Not the best move at all. But d5 is obviously the right way to play. And I will dive in as I more or less thought that I would. Queen a5 stops me from playing knight to g5 in a way, but it doesn't stop me from tagging the rook with bishop to h6. Rook to c8, bishop h6, rook e8, knight to c3. Interesting, regrouping. After none of these moves do I play the move knight to c2, which I would be particularly intrigued by. So in any event, it's all downhill from here, and the game unfortunately ended after knight c3. I am very sorry, Nefedov. That was a very short game. So here we are. This is Viking in the stream. And we will do a short if you'd like to. So if you'd like to play the French, I don't know if we need to play any Alekines today, but it is one of 4 counterattacking moves versus e4. Basically, you can prepare the attack on e4 with c6 or e6 and attack the e4 pawn. Or, on the first move, we could have used the Alekine or the Scandinavian to directly attack the center. But unfortunately, we give up a little bit of control of the center in both cases. And in the case of the Alekine, a lot. We're going to constantly counterattack the center with d5, and we're going to usually counterattack the center with... Now, unfortunately, I have to take this pawn because I don't see any other way of handling it. Now, I should be showing my opponent a certain amount of respect in this instance. We're just going to play bishop to d7. Knight to h6 because I like these lines. Knight to c6 with the idea of placing a knight on the c4 square. Now he might actually opt for taking this knight since he gains time on that pawn. And he chose not to, but we have an automatic target now for our knight, and we can try to anchor him, which is what we're going to do. We're going to anchor the pawn. We're not going to be concerned about this side of the board's weaknesses, not just now. And we're going to use this moment to start counterattacking, even though our light squares are very weak. And we can now choose to break down the center with f takes e5, mainly because this pawn on h4 is hanging. Not entirely sure that this pawn is to his advantage. He does have a move to bother my pawn on h5, but I have an adequate counterattack. And now, should we capture twice on e5? Or should we go for the exchange sacrifice on f3? I feel like we should go for the exchange sacrifice on f3. And now he's choosing to try to sacrifice a bishop, it looks like. And we don't want that knight coming any closer than it has to. In this particular instance, he does have a very cute sacrifice on this square. And we should have taken advantage of another move in this particular instance. But we're just going to keep applying pressure to the f2 pawn. And now it might be worth it. It might behoove us to decoy the knight. Or we can simply go for it here. Oh, we have a lack of time problem. Oh, we didn't analyze our game. Let's just take a quick peek at what was happening in that game. Is the top of our board cut off? It looks like it could almost be cut off in the image that I see. I am curious. Let's check it. Basically, we will put this one again on requesting an analysis. Looking at our stuff, always learning from our mistakes. We're going to have to be disciplined from now on. Where is our content display? We will unlock this window just for a moment, just to make sure that we have a little bit of a border at the top. There we go. We'll bring it down just in case, giving us more of a border on the sides. It looks as though you can now see the time for black, and we couldn't see it before, so let's move it up just a smidge. I did a little bit of rearranging, and we can't see the time on the bottom. Is that a problem with this? We can bring it down. Yeah, we can do that. We don't really need to see that. That should be enough of the screen to see. We'll lock that down just to make sure that everyone sees the times. So in this particular instance, yes, looks good. Our opponent was gambiting a pawn. This is perfectly acceptable in the sense that white has a certain initiative, already a developmental advantage. I'm a big proponent of not gambiting a pawn unnecessarily. And in this particular instance, I thought I was doing very, 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 very well, especially after the exchange sacrifice. And here I missed, or at least I thought I had missed an opportunity to play. Bishop to b5. Did I really miss this opportunity? c4, d takes c4, queen e4, and my weaknesses are there. Or c4, bishop takes c4, so it looks like it should also be good. Why can I not play bishop takes c4? Because of the double attack on the bishop? This is a clear advantage for white. Is it because of the attack on the king side? Oh, I am down the exchange. So unless I'm getting the exchange, it's not worth it. So this is actually quite okay. We discover on the queen just in case we would like to bother him some more, it seems. And of course, knight takes runs into further discoveries. Well, knight takes, we're just doing well there, right? Remember, we were black in this particular instance. And in this position, I couldn't make up my mind, but the simple move was the best. I was entertaining thoughts of d4 and d takes c4, but I wasn't really allowed to play d takes c4 because of the bishop hanging. And we will flip this board and learn from our mistakes. Let's see what we did wrong. So it didn't like my exchange sacrifice at all, which is terribly unfortunate. I liked my exchange sacrifice. That's quite crazy. So we could throw this move in. And if he did try to recapture, we have so much attacking f2 that it would be devastating. Right? Bishop takes f2, and if rook takes f2, knight takes f2. Forking the queen and the bishop that is his main attacker. Oh, I'm terribly sorry I didn't see that move. Let's head back to the arena and see what we can learn. We are playing bishops diagonal. Now, once again, I am going to still try to get my Frenches up. In the exchange French, the position, if you'd like to play the exchange French, you have to realize that black has a certain initiative that white does not. And that initiative consists of trying to play asymmetrically. And in this particular instance, when we are playing asymmetrically, we already have an imbalance in pawn structure. I did not need to go to such expense here, but we'll actually just travel across with our knight. And it looks as though we have a few choices here. I don't really want to trade. I do not wish to trade. But I do wish to get the bishop pair. So we're going to try to trap this bishop on its square and ruin his pawn structure while we're at it. So he does have bishop takes knight. And that is a little bit troublesome. I don't really want that pawn going anywhere. And we're just going to tag his weaknesses, always paying attention to where the weaknesses are, so that we have multiple weaknesses to choose from. Haven't decided on the best square for this bishop. It may be as simple as d2. Alright, so it looks as though this is the weakness we're capturing. And our opponent is allowing us to come in. He gets to take twice, but we have to take back with the bishop. Is this true? So perhaps we can give him a little checkup on the h2 square just to keep him honest. And now there's a little bit of a problem on this side of the board. So we're finally going to finish our opening development and bring our rook to the only open file and see what he has in mind. If he chooses the wrong square for his pizzas, this will be okay by us. And it looks like he did choose the wrong square for his pizzas. So we're going to bother his queen and take advantage of the pin on the knight by attacking the knight again with a pawn, which happens to also be a fork. And I don't see the point here. We could take on h3, he'll take on e4. Doesn't seem to make sense. So we'll discover on his queen. We'll throw in a brief checkup. And we will give him another checkup on the long diagonal just to make sure that we don't lose any time in the placement of our pieces. Let's play in this manner so that we'll have an instant defense against possible... That was a little bit of a hiccup. Once again, we're going to check our computer analysis as well as our opening book. And in this manner, we'll hope to learn something about what we did and what we've done in the past. So interestingly enough, our opponent chose to play e4. I don't necessarily know that we need more than 635 Frenches, but it's possible that the other one hasn't registered either, so we'll go to 700 on the Frenches. Like I said, you can mimic white if you only need a half point, just to say that because you might be in a good tournament position. Or we could counterattack and try to force c3, but this counterattack only controls the e5 square and does not really attack the d4 pawn. The computer prefers bishop d6 or c5 as far as human moves are concerned. I know it says knight to c6 up there, but to be honest, I am not that impressed with knight to c6. That is a real computer move. I have played it 8 times and I'm doing very well with it. c5 on the other hand is a little bit more to the point. And my opponent shouldn't necessarily give up his center. He should try to hold his center or support his center. And of course I know that Stockfish believes that all of these moves are good. Even h3 is good. But this is a combined assessment of the next 20-something moves. So as a result, there's no real reason. And bishop e3 was a little bit of inaccuracy. Probably knight to c3, putting more pressure on the pawn. If the pawn moves, then we can actually put our knight further in the center, so it fixes this pawn a little bit as a weakness. I don't really want that knight to get toward the center, so I won't be able to move my pawn. I would more than likely respond with bishop f5 or knight f5. In any event, try to take advantage of the pin on the pawn because the g3 square is weak. I have been known in the past to play moves like queen to c7 so that I might sacrifice the bishop on h3, g takes h3, and then queen to g3 check. The king cannot move to f1 under any circumstances. So as a result, the king is going to have to move to h1, and we can capture the pawn on f2 right away for 3 pawns for our piece. Or we can capture on h3 with check. The knight might retreat, and then we can capture the pawn on f2. If the knight retreats to h2, we also have further attacking possibilities with knight to g4. So queen to c7 would be a move that I would probably play in this position. However, it is my opponent's turn to move. I didn't have that option. So my opponent plays bishop e3, queen, bishop. And now it just accelerated a little bit in this position, so it wasn't quite worth looking at. Meanwhile, let's look at how far we're catching up. We don't have bishop's diagonal appearing in the opening book just yet, but we do have 195 other players to index before it gets to our games. I will be patient. We have a nice 2300 in the chat. W2 million performance. W2 Million Performance from France. Welcome to the stream. I can't believe that I didn't give you a better game. I'm so sorry. Terribly sorry. I'm happy you found your way here, though. Hopefully the audio and all are good. This stream is sponsored by Chess Informant. I highly recommend the book, 1000 Best of the Best.
Check out the amazing publisher, Chess Informant. The most important chess publications and combinations download. Even more info. Check out more special pricing. Plus my YouTube Informant playlist.
Faubourg, good morning. I'm sorry that it took me so long to respond. Not bad this time. 4 minutes. 4 minutes in the queue. I'm happy to say it wasn't longer. So he's joined the Chess Dojo 960. And we are about to reach 700 members. He just joined this morning along with Bishop's Diagonal. Very good. I could easily get that number way up to 700 if I were to enroll all of my students in the school in it, but not today. There are 3 events offered every single day. 3 different types of training events depending on your preference. We do have the dojo. How is the weather in South Africa? I'm hoping it's warming up. Or is it getting colder? No, it should be warming up. It should be spring in South Africa. If you can start playing with the windows open. And given that we have both kick and we have both kick and this chat showing in the arena. I apologize for the duplicity. Oh, you are so lucky. I have to check out the property in South Africa. Alexa, what is the flying time to South Africa?
It will take about 16 hours and 30 minutes to fly to South Africa.
Only 16 hours. That's good enough to have a weekend place, right? What part of South Africa would be recommended as affordable by South African standards, yet not too, what's the right word, sus? What part of South Africa would be of course W2 Million and congrats W2 Million perf. Now if I click on this At least 3, I should say. At least. We have at least 3 events each day. The seaside, but that's not so affordable. No, I'm looking at expatriating to another country. Basically, I can stream from anywhere. You are roughly 7 hours ahead of me, I would imagine. In time zone, it is 7 a.m., so it's probably 2 p.m. in the afternoon for you. Let's head over to the next dojo, which is going to begin in 5 minutes. Control C, message all members. And we'll throw up this one. Two messages remaining until tomorrow morning at 4:56 a.m. I will get some extra streams in. We have a lovely book that was gifted to us on our Amazon wish list. By MD Night Zero. And I do have to change this command for the I should take this 3 minutes to grab coffee, right? I should definitely take this 3 minutes to grab coffee. I'll be back. I also want to grab my sandals. I thought I'd left them up here, so I came up barefooted thinking that my sandals were upstairs. How rude, right? Be back. I better not take more than 3 minutes. That's craziness that I made it in time. All the stuff that I had to do downstairs. And let's change the name on our stream while we're at it. Did I stop the music? Interesting. Maybe I stopped the music by accident. It is. Is it the final day for the FIDE Grand Swiss, or do we have one more round? I believe we have one more round. This should be round 10. Everyone is playing. That's great. We'll do a quick check. It is round 10. Gary is playing Farouja. Kamer is playing Bluebaum. Yu Yang Yi is having a great tournament playing Arakaisi. There are 6 players tied for first, I believe. Or are there only 4? In all the confusion, I kind of lost track. Hans Niemann is a half a point behind with Abhimanyu Mishra. So they have 6 points, but there is a group with 6.5. Now there's a strange FIDE rule that you can't be paired up more than twice, which is very strange. Let's check out Aram versus Tiger A. Aram versus Tiger A. I don't think I need to be on the opening book in order to so Tiger A is castled queenside, has a space advantage, and seems to be doing quite well in the sense that white now lost material. It's a very sad situation. A whole rook. Tiger A leading the tournament. Oh, Donnie made a post. My friend Donnie Ariel. Uh-oh. 162 is in use. Do I have chess base open? I seem to have chess base open. I'm going to close chess base in the background. I did not even know that it was open. We're going to move our Zoom meetings over. AKA Nemsko is in Japan. It's possible that we could raid her if she's still streaming by the time we get there. She's collaborating with Rob CD. And we still haven't gotten a game. What did I do to deserve this? I'm going to close the league standings in the background as well, unless I need them. I'm looking to see if I need them. Now it claims that I have 127 players here. Only 121 have played. Actually, I'm going to undo that last because I want all of the captains to be the same. All the captains' names should be the same. Fair enough. Alright, and we are back. I need to kick chat on top. We're trying to get our F4s up. So we're going to work on that for the moment. We could play the King's Gambit. I have chosen to play that in the past. D4. And we do have a not so pleasant surprise for our opponent. If he wishes to do that, I may have to lose a pawn. So, he's threatening me. That much is true. And we seem to have survived the worst. The worst being relative. Relatively relative. Relatively relative. Who knew what we could do? Rook to E1. Bishop takes, knight takes. No, we're not going to play it that way. We are going to try to take over the open E file though. That much is true. Why would my opponent offer me a draw? Hold on here, let me see. I do not see a draw in this position. I just don't see it. Don't want a pre-move. Rook E1, knight takes E4, knight F3. Let us secure our knight on that side of the board against any incursions. If he wanted to play H6, he had to play up first. We would love to have a passed pawn, by the way. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love to have a passed pawn, maybe. d5, c4. Let's not let that happen. We might be sacking a pawn on that side of the board. We don't want to be tied down to one pawn. Right now we've got his king at bay, so we're not going to let it go that easily. Got a pawn majority of 4-3 on this side of the board. Certainly does look drawish. And now check. Or do we just invade with our king? I feel like we should just invade with our king. Give him the opportunity to bother me more, bother me more, bother me more. This, that, and the other thing. Let's grab more space. So now, if I do play it this way, he is getting a checkup for what it's worth. Oh, he's trying to remove the defender of this, huh? C'est la vie. We need to keep him out anyway. Anyway. That knight has a long road to hoe. It's true. Not sure where to go. Where are you going? Who knew you would go there? Go there. And now you are trying for more. It's true. Knight game, king game, everyone. Let's do it that way. Da-da-dum-dum. Dum. Da-da-dum-dum. I think he forgot about something. Haven't decided how to get him. It's a bummer. I want to under promote. Check, 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 check. I almost got to checkmate him with a pawn. I needed queen b7. No, it wasn't going to quite work, was it? It was not going to quite work to checkmate him with a pawn. Could I have gone knight to g6 in that instance? Let's go back for a moment and see where we stand on our f4s. We're at 566. We need 3 more c4s. g5. This is the first time I've faced bishop g5, and I do need to play e3 against this. Fair enough. Now I know. I often have played e4, and I didn't like the trouble that I got into after playing e4. e4, f5, e5, bishop takes e5. Fascinating, right? Queen to e2. Threatening check takes, among other things. So e3 from now on will be our next move. So in this particular instance, they're indexing of 146 other players. If I can keep this 8 a.m. lesson that is coming up, I am very much going to appreciate it. Did I just change it to 8 a.m. on Saturday? Oops.
Raiders from.
So now we're trapped in Fisher's mind back in his own private army, and if we get killed,
Timel,
we'll be lost in
how are
limbo.
you? Namaste. Great to see you. This is one of my favorite scenes from Inception. I should use more from Inception, to be honest. Right? Inception is a great chess term.
Timeout. Thanks for following.
Really? Thank you so much for joining the dojo. G'day. You're not from Aussie, are you? I like the g'day. I'm actually just waiting for my opening index for a moment to get up to date. It says 146 other players. I played this absolutely terrible move. And then my opponent devastates me, and with a queen h4, I have no choice but to play king to e2. And queen e1 absolutely should be played now. I don't know what I was thinking when I played knight to c3. I thought for some reason that knight e4 would be more of a bother. Threatening knight to g3 check. He also has knight h5, but if he castles, he's just totally winning in this instance, and I'm not helping here. Queen to d3 is no better nor no worse than queen d3, but it did set up the opportunity for me to throw in a little bit of a blank, and I did. The only move, knight e4. I am FIDE trainer and National Master John MacArthur, by the way. I'm not advertising my stream on Lichess as much anymore as I am on YouTube. If you've not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. I know that we share many of the same common viewers. And we are sponsored by Chess Informant.
Check out the best of the best. Chess Informant Prize winners and candidate games chosen by a jury of title players from 1966 onward.
And we seem to be totally winning in this particular position. Up several pawns. It should show over here that he offered me a draw. Right? Oh, it does show. Black offers a draw. There it is. I wasn't sure where it was, but the fact that he offered me a draw got me to make a less than best move. Rook takes e8, rook takes e8, and rook to e1 would simply be the case, right? b4, b5. This rook is just sort of impotent on this file, and so is the knight. Gonna wait for the knight to move to e7 before we bring over the rook to e1 and get another one off the board. But I had the same plan in mind after knight f4. I wanted to cheesily threaten him here, but he has a great answer. Ouch, 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 ouch. And there's no way to defend that pawn. Or is there? I believe there's no way to defend that pawn. I have to walk into the abyss and allow knight f4 check, or knight c4 check. That's horrible. Must walk into the abyss and allow knight to c4 check. Maybe, just maybe, I could try to step away. And that way on knight f3 check, I can try knight to e6 check, but then he just steps away. And we have the same problem brewing on both counts, and I'm down a pawn. Knight takes rook, and I'll be down a rook. So therefore, rook e3, knight g5, rook on h to e1, and I won't be up a pawn anymore. It'll just be an even game. He did offer me a draw, then he played his own blunder in reply, and I got in my expected plan of exchanging, restricting, and improving. How is your stream time, Al? Am I saying it right? Only 74 other players at the moment. So I need really to get in 600 c4s. I meant to play c4 today, but I was running short on time. I want to be Mr. 600 with all of these openings down here. Tiger A is running away with it. I would like to prioritize learning from your games over winning. The results that we experience here are merely benchmarks for how we perform from day to day. The real benefit is from learning from your games so that you can do even better in real life. We did change our stream title, that's good. We didn't change our stream title on the main page, which we probably should. That way we have the Grandmaster rather than the IM showing. We'll do that. So e4. E6 was the order of the day. Now this is easily the best move for most starting out players. Absolutely the best move for improving your pieces, gaining space, not moving the same pawn twice. I highly disagree with moving the same pawn twice. Having a strategic plan that is simple and part of a connect the dots plan is not necessarily what you should be looking for. We're going to play a6. And only now are we going to do this in case we wanted to. There's no more F4 that we worry about. And he is going to exchange off his good attacking bishop. Fair enough. We want this development. Notice how a6 already comes in. Because after queen takes e7, knight to b5 could and should be devastating. Because the center is fixed, our king is safe. In many openings, king safety is possible without having to be castled. Therefore, being aware of king safety is equally important to castling blindly and because someone told you to. And because of a6, we've reached a position that's more about piece play than pawn play. And I almost guarantee you we've reached a very unique position that our opponent has not really considered. We could go after his bishop pair, but our bishop is not necessarily the best piece. He doesn't wish to move any of the pawns around his king because it will create further weaknesses. And at the moment, he has no real targets for attack. We could have played d4 last move. That was also very, very possible. We're going to go for it because we can. We're constantly striving to remove a defender. We also have, if he moves his queen, the option of queen a d5 with a double attack. I think we're going to take it. We're just going to take it. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was, but I don't see it like that. What can he do to me? I'll find out just now. What am I worried about? Need to activate our rooks here. The back rank mate is possible. Again, against e4. We're already at 600 with e6, so we should probably be concentrating on g6, d6, knight f6, and d5. Maybe we can get everything up to 200. Let's set some small goals to get these up to 200. But e6... How good is a6? a6 is one of the top 3 moves. Bishop d3 was a questionable move. He should have gone for it that way. He has rook h4. Rook h3 is possible. And this was a major blunder because he had queen f4. That was awkward. Knight c3 check can be ignored. Knight c3 can be ignored. For example, if I play knight c3, it's too slow. King a1 would be bad. And I have to batten down the hatches, and I'm down a pizza. There's nothing I can do. Yeah, this is very bad. If I try to ignore him, which I thought I could do, I have a very serious problem in the sense that this rook is still alive. So if I go back to this point back here, (176 other players. Why am I always in the queue for getting updated? Is it because I give up? Is it because I give up? Knight a4 is dubious. That makes sense to me. I was gonna play queen takes c5, then he has to consider defending. I'm defending, I'm attacking, I'm threatening. All sorts of stuff. It looks good for black. Do we have time to get into the top with 8? Maybe. Maybe. Nefedov is playing Viking. He's going to be at 12 or 10, as the case might be. He had a loss. Why am I at 2069? I thought I started lower than that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I've only gained 19 points. Was I at 2050 at the start of the day? Hard to say, hard to say. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining the dojo. Joining the dojo. And you can join the dojo with the YouTube link. For those of you who are joining the stream for the first time, you can enter the dojo, whether it's the Rapid and Blitz, which is next. The Rapid team has an event next in approximately 15 minutes. And I do want to get one more game, even if it doesn't count. Yes, we did get one more game in. What were we trying to get in? Another C4. So you would like to play, if you'd like to play the reversed Sicilian against the English. Absolutely. Bishop to B4 is the recommended move. I'm going to exchange my center pawn for the wing pawn. I'm sorry, I'm going to exchange my wing pawn for the center pawn. Continue to take over the center. Might grab space, don't know yet. They always have C6-2. Break down my wedge in the center. Don't walk into a fork though. Younger players often fail to realize that the pawns are coming toward them. After all, pawns only move forward. Therefore, you have to take into account that pawns are indeed going to move backwards towards you when you're sitting at the board. Again, younger players often fail to realize that the pawns are coming toward them because they're used to the pawns only moving forward. They don't completely understand or grok that the pawns are actually coming toward them, moving backwards in a sense. Another very important aspect of the game to remember is that you should use all of your pieces. You shouldn't be moving the same pieces twice in the opening. How do we take advantage of this clearance? Give him a quick tag in case it's needed. We have a defender. Oh no, now we're picking them all up like checkers. trying to decide on the best way to bother him here. Namaste, everyone. We have to get our message out for the next leg of this event cycle, which is the, believe it or not, rapid and classical, which is beginning in just a moment. But we are going to send a little word of congratulations to Epure lo sapeva. He managed to pip Tiger A on tie breaks at the post. We're on to the Mikhail Kikalidze birthday arena starting in 8 minutes. We're not going to necessarily change our stream title, but we are going to get this arena started. I have a lesson starting, unfortunately, in 5 minutes. So I'm hoping that everyone joins in. I may be playing during my lesson. There's no guarantee of this, but I may well be playing. Whoops, Control Z. I copied the link address. I didn't copy. Enjoy, everyone. Absolutely, absolutely enjoy. While you are playing, one of the inspirations for my streaming is not available. We'll see if someone else is. They are. No longer streaming. Wow, that was crazy. Let's head over to as much as I regret it, a chess.com stream. And let's see how many we have, just because. That's right. That's why we couldn't raid the other streamer. We need at least 5 to raid most streamers, and I'm happy that Kehoe will take us. Please join us in this rapid and classical dojo. And we will put it up on Kick as well. Just to let everybody know the link directly. We are streaming on Kick and YouTube, as well as Twitch. And there's still room for the OG badge. Have a great day, everyone. Let's roll the ending credits. Thank you, Tamel, for the raid. Cheers and ciao, everyone. We'll be back again tomorrow morning with 3 events.